Hi, Matt here from Battle Misfit. I'm talking to Greg, the community manager for Green Man Loaded.
It's actually David.
Like I said, we're talking to Greg from Green Man Loaded. We're looking at Eternal Step here.
Yes. Yeah.
What can you tell us about this?
So Eternal Step has been made by a couple of guys, a development team called Once More with Gusto. They've been working on the game for a couple of years alongside kind of doing their full-time jobs. And it is a action RPG / roguelike, kind of a roguelike meets Bloodborne. So you're a knight going through an endless tower, kind of you're coming to the end of your life and you're kind of repenting for your sins or trying to die with honor, and the aim of the game is to try and get as far as you can in the tower before meeting an untimely demise.
Alright, I noticed a lot of... It feels very Legend of Zelda-like to me, combined with like Bloodborne, like you said. And it just feels like a lot of new games meeting old styles, which I like. But this one, something this game does, which a lot of games don't do at the moment, is like you actually use proper 2D animation. I suppose it's always pixel style.
I think a lot of people kind of want to use a pixel style. I think a lot of people grew up around that sort of Super Nintendo era, and they love. They kind of like want to go back to their childhood. I think these guys are a real big fan of like Legend of like kind of Link Between Worlds and stuff like that. Although the earlier Zeldas, sorry, not Link Between Worlds. That's the one for the 3DS. Link to the Past, that's the one. And they're real big like anime fans as well. So I think they really wanted to do like cartoony, real kind of fluid 2D animation. So they wanted to kind of nail that aspect of it, and it's certainly quite a unique art style, like the whole hand drawn but it's nice smooth animation. It's not something you particularly see too much of, and it's quite interesting to see. It kind of grabs you and takes you by surprise the first time you see it. Yeah,
it just feels like a lot of old mixing with new.
Yeah,
like it looks new and crisp, and but it plays like games you remember, and it has that challenge that a lot of these games today lack. And so, these towers, is this procedurally generated, or?
So the first 100 floors have been kind of handcrafted, but what the game will do, will kind of pick floors at random and present them to you. So no two playthroughs are going to be the same. There's also challenge floors as well. So you may come across a level where you go, you need to survive for 70 seconds, and you can do that in different ways. You can either try and attack enemies, or just be so overwhelmed to just basically run around the edges before you can survive. Or you'll get a Street Fighter reference of you've got to smash the cart up as quickly as possible. But the first 100 levels are the ones that have been handcrafted, and once you get to floor 100, you'll start to see these old levels repeat, but the difficulty will challenge you up until floor however many you get to.
So that's when the real game begins.
That's when the real game begins. Yeah.
Because I noticed fairly early that first of all, you start fighting these slimes. They're like your basic enemies, and then you get a couple floors. Suddenly they explode.
Yes.
So you have like enemies coming back, but with new abilities, so they're evolving with the player.
Yeah, so you start off and you start getting a little bit confident. The slimes are the very first enemies you encounter. They basically kind of rush towards you and try and spike you. Eventually they'll learn how to teleport. And so it kind of gets you comfortable with learning what these enemies do, and then they'll pull the wool out from over your eyes and go, you need to do something else now to try and counter what this enemy does. And it's all about kind of a learning process. Every death in the game is a learning experience. You go, right, they're doing something they've never done before. Now how can I deal with that? I go, they teleport now, so now I need to deal with that. And it's ramping the challenge up.
And the last aspect I want to talk about, which this was very interesting, was how the upgrade system works.
Yeah.
Usually in a game, you'd find a new weapon in a chest. And it's like, okay, is this better than my current thing? No, just throw it away or sell it or scrap it or whatever. The way this works is that it's card based, so you find new items as you go on, and if it's not better than your current one, you can what has a skill that you need, you can add that to your current weapon, that was really cool.
So yeah, the whole equipment abilities and things like that, that can get quite deep. So what you can do is you can choose to keep the weapon you currently have, or store the weapon you've just picked up for later. And the next time you go into the game, you can choose your cards that you have go out with you. So you're picking a loadout like in Call of Duty, and it's kind of when you start playing the game, you start experimenting with new weapons. That's when you go, this is play style that I want to deal with, and you can start customizing your abilities and go, right, I like flurry and I like daggers, so I want to combine those two, and then I like this armor and I like this shield, and then it's a learning experience. So the more you play the game, you go, right, this is my loadout, or I want to try something different. And there's wild cards as well with monster cards, which can do things that you might not expect.
And we have useless ones, like a brick for armor.
Yes, bricks for armor are weird, or using an old door as a shield. Like, may not be slightly better. They may not be better than something you picked up, but you know, it's fun. It's good fun.
How would you use a brick as armor?
I will probably maybe try to like sellotape it to my head. So like if someone's trying to hit an axe with me, it will just go straight into the brick.
All right, so it was fantastic talking with you. This has been Ben from Green Man Loaded. We hope to speak to you again soon.